I like AOC, but I don't agree with her a lot of her politics. For the same reason I like Massey, although I don't agree with nearly any of his politics. And it's that like I feel like both of them have arrived at their position from like a principled stance of what's right and wrong, opposite ends of the chain of the spectrum there. But you know, Massey, that's the guy's name, right? The Republican
Thomas
who
Massey,
he votes against every freaking spending bill because he thinks that's right. And I'm like, you know, you don't have to agree with me to get my respect. You just have to come from a principled place of what's right and wrong. And AOC and Massey both have that, even though I think they get a lot wrong.
I think AOC polls terribly nationally. I think she's very unpopular, a lot of negatives. She's super liberal, obviously. And then she's got a lot of other things bad going against her, but she's very pretty. I'd like to see her be part of the process, I guess is more what I'm saying.
You know who I want in there?
Because I think, let me just one more. I think that AOC will fill the shoes of like a Bernie and pull Newsom or pull any more right wing Dems further to the left, which is in the interest of the Republican Party. Like she'll take stances that you know the left wants, and Newsom will be stuck there. Like, well, don't you want all the immigrants to come in for free and give them health care? Like, well, maybe not all of them. She's like, bigot, and just you drag him over to the left. You know,
that could happen. I could see that. I want to see Jon Stewart run. I know, like, but he's been working with Washington for decades now. He's been observing Washington forever. I feel like he's as much an insider as Trump used to be, you know, his first term, prior to his first term. Like, did Trump know politics? Yeah, he was on the outside. He knew the Clintons. They were at the wedding. Like he wasn't he never worked in the White House or in politics at all, but he wasn't a complete stranger to it. That's where Stewart is. And I think that he would be a principled president.
Yeah, I really need to see like a mission statement. I need to see where he is on all of the major policies. Like I bet economically and fiscally and maybe even foreign policy wise, probably on the same page with someone like Jon Stewart. But I don't know where he is socially and as far as immigration. And those are two things, and gun control and drugs. And those things from the right and left are where I'm like most I don't know, inflexible. It's like, wait, you believe that? Well, I wouldn't want you then. Like if that's your take on that thing, then no thanks. Like no, maybe no, they can't compete in women's sports. No.
Dude, the Democrats are on the wrong side of that issue, and it cost them dearly. And I hope they can learn from this mistake. It's like, I don't want to throw trans people under the bus, but good God, could you give up sports?
They do it themselves.
I mean, you can say, hey, just be nice to them, but don't let them necessarily win the freaking state championship wrestling, you know, when you put a boy in there against all the girls. Like, just
and it's not even just that. It's like, I don't want my daughter to be in a locker room with a dick.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. Like I don't care what you believe or what you identify as. I don't want my like 12-year-old daughter to see your dick. I don't want your dick in there near her without an adult present. Like I remember what locker rooms were like for like when I was, I just talked about wearing 8 pairs of underwear and get spanked by a dude in middle school.
I have friends all over the fucking political spectrum. One of them you just saw is literally running for Congress. I have friends who are communists. It's like they're completely all over the political spectrum. I have not met someone who genuinely and honestly like has some weird progressive take on like that whole issue. Even like my gay friends are like, when it comes to shit like that, it's like, no, just we'll keep running with everything the way we've done it for forever. And like, we're not fucking playing pretend. Like now everybody has to pretend this is a fucking woman who's allowed around, little girls or whatever.
So I swam in college. Nobody hates that fucking person from Penn State more than me. He was on the guys team, a Division I swimmer on the men's Penn State swim team the year before. And then over the summer, he comes back and competes against the women and beats them all. Of course he did. He was a D1 male collegiate swimmer.
It just feels like such a silly topic too for like the Democratic Party to even pay any modicum of attention to, instead of focusing on like economics. Like the economy's fucked. Everybody knows that. Everybody agrees. Where it's
and Trump slapped him in the face with it every time he got in front of a microphone. They want men and women's sports. You know that, right? These people are crazy. They're great, and it's like
they can't abandon it. They can't leave it. One of the largest voting constituencies of the Democratic Party are single women, and that includes older single women. And these issues for them are seen as like tentpole, like important things. And so like a lot of like people like Woody who are like sane and like know what they want now and then, but like you're like, hey, can we cut this fucking nonsense loose? They still have to serve that constituency, and those people are not engaged with the Democratic Party because of some neoliberal economic value. They're engaged with it because of the culture war stuff. And so it's really difficult to extricate that.
It's an absurd thing to be talking about when it's 2% of the population, if that, and what percent of that population is trying to get on these sports teams anyway. It's a minor issue that becomes a major issue because they're so inflexible about it. And it's one of those things that looks so weird. And you're able to say, look how crazy they are on this. That's plain, like easy to see. A layman can get that this is wrong, and yet they are clearly on the wrong side of it. So then when you flex over to something that's more nuanced and complicated and harder for the layman to wrap his head around, like fucking immigration, geopolitics, tax law, whatever, the healthcare, they're like, well, I don't know. They're crazy on that other thing. I don't really understand how healthcare works, but I don't want crazies deciding how my healthcare works. It's a no-win issue. That and the gun control thing, they always go too whole hog on that. And of course, anyone from the right will always say they want. I remember Trump literally saying, they're taking your guns away. They want to take your guns, but I'm not going to let them. He's there in front with the NRA. And I can't remember the guy that runs NRA. He's over there like slapping Trump on the back. And it's like, if you own guns, if you care about the Second Amendment, then you're like, how can I possibly vote for that person?
The most ambivalent to guns Republican in the past 50 years, because like at the end of the day, like his beliefs are kind of those of like
convenience,
an anti-free trade Democrat from 1998.
I used to have a bump stock. I just want to get that out there. Like Trump is not the gun savior. I had a bump stock until that fucker became president.
I had 30.
Unrelated. I'll say not that I'm a single issue voter, but like, yeah, there is one issue that I care about way more than everything else. Obviously, the fucking economy, and but I was so convinced. And I said this a million times this last election, where it was like, dude, if the Democratic Party ran just a milquetoast, middle of the line moderate like fucking Obama, just like some clean, boring nerd, like good looking, boring nerd, he would have swept the fucking election. It would clean house, because there are so many people I've met, and not like the fucking what's the meme that got me again. This is all coming from a guy who doesn't fucking vote.
It's the Euphorbia Again award.
Not allowed.
Yeah. Mine's voluntary. Yeah, but
it's okay. I voted twice, Kyle.
Me and my grandma, who's been deceased for 15 years. But I was like, yeah, dude, if they ran like this milquetoast, moderate, fucking good-looking guy who didn't have a hardline stance on anything, they would have won that election so much. Because I know so many people who voted for Trump who are, like independent, whatever the fuck you want to call them, who literally only voted for Trump because it was a vote against Kamala Harris, and nobody was fucking thrilled about either.
Yeah, that's why I voted against. I voted against Kamala.
Trump had the easiest paths to the presidencies ever. Like first he goes against Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
Anyone can beat Hillary Clinton. She's the most disliked woman in America for 30 years in a row now. And then he goes against the corpse of Biden, who just stays in his basement taking Zoom calls, not really campaigning, and Biden beats him.
Well, and then he goes against Biden. To interject, Biden is the most popular politician in American history. We need to make sure that's clear. Okay. By votes and huge margins, the most popular politician in American history, in COVID which time. Is true.
So then Biden barely even runs, stays in the basement, takes these Zoom calls, barely has things because it's COVID, and he beats Trump, who was sinking himself daily by just telling like COVID lies and suggesting that we have fewer tests and stuff like that. And then he runs against the corpse of Biden again, beats that guy, gets against Kamala with 100 days notice, and she loses. No one likes her. He just had, like, if he was up against Kerry, I think he would have lost.
It just depends on the environment. Like, the economy since 2019, since COVID, has been dog shit. There has never been a period of goodness in that time. Like, there's been news narratives and nonsense from Biden pretending the numbers were good to now Trump pretending the numbers are good. It's not been good for anyone. And so really, when it came to the Kamala Trump election, it feels like she really sealed her fate when they asked her, like, what would you do differently than Biden? And she was like, nothing at all. And they were like, okay, well, that's not working.
That was the view, by the way. That wasn't some hardball question. That was meant to, like,
that clip went viral.
Her up.
Yeah. They were teeing her up. They were trying to, like, serve her a softball. They're like, hey, what do you think? What's your favorite kind of salsa? And also, what are you going to do differently from Biden?
It's so easy. It's so easy. You say, well, it's really about perspective. You know, I'm coming from a place, being a woman, being a colored person, being this, being that, you know, my roots, and you pivot a little. You don't have to shit on your boss. All right. You don't have, and you don't say nothing. You talk about how your perspective is different from your boss's perspective, how you're 2 generations younger, how you're black, how you're Indian, how you come from this multiracial family, how you're a woman, how you have all that. You're going to be able to look out for a whole other segment of the population that really hasn't had anyone having their backs, generationally speaking, ever in Washington, D.C. And moreover, for every American. And then they fucking start clapping, and Joy Behar starts sucking your clit, and Whoopi Goldberg's fucking hair comes out like the Predator. And it's fine. It's fine. Everybody loves it. But instead, she's like, oh, nothing. It was perfect serving under that fucking guy with dementia who stumbled over.
Who everybody lied and pretended didn't have dementia until 2 minutes ago. But now trust us on this new person. And it's like, the problem was also, like, Kamala has no rhetorical panache. Like, you need someone with, like, the ability, like, you need someone with rhetoric. You need someone who's quick, someone who's good at deflecting and, you know, redirecting towards a comfortable topic. And she failed tremendously at that all the time. And that's like, you know, who's good at that is Gavin Newsom.
Great at it.
He's very good at that.
You wouldn't want to, if you get into a debate,
you know who else is good at that?
He's going to serve your ass.
JD Vance.
Is he?
JD Vance is very good at being asked a direct question about H-1B visas or something. And then he's like, just off to the races, doing
but
some
is it
other
a good
thing.
Answer or just evading?
Because no worse an answer than what Newsom would do in that position.
Better than Trump's bullshit.
But to anyone on the other side, you're going to immediately identify, like, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. Like, this is horse shit. But the point is that he can do it. Like Newsom, Vance, like, these guys are politicians. They can, you know, they can lie. Kamala just failed entirely on the rhetoric issue, and being a rhetoric is a huge part of being a politician.
Someone needs someone who's a debater, not just a debater, someone who teaches debate.
A master debater.
A master debater needs to talk to her and explain how to, like, spin and how to shift and how to dodge through these questions.
Ted Cruz.
And
he's
good
at that.
Professional, look, if you're a professional baseball player, you know how to field that ground ball versus that line drive versus that pop fly. If you're a politician, you should know every possible question that could be asked of you. I know there's some weird curveballs you could ask them. You could be incredibly offensive to try to throw them off their game somehow. What if you have your period and the president of Russia, like, you could get weird with it and try to throw her off her game. But
Kyle, I'm 65.
Are you telling us you're all dried up, ma'am? Is that the case?
Oh, like been that way for quite some time.
my pussy gets wet. It gets wet. that's how come on.
And then Trump goes, I bet that's me. I have that effect on ladies.
A lot of people saying my dick doesn't get hard. That's not true. It still gets hard.
Right now.
I fuck.